Happy Pi Day traders. This is Trader Tim from eMini Mind doing a trade recap video. It is the 14th of March 2019 and we'll talk about yesterday's trades as well as today. Let's take the ES out to a daily chart. You can see yesterday we made a high above the prior swing high, and then this horizontal line that I have here is just the high from back in October, that swing high that we were kind of knocking our head on, and we finally were able to close right at it, and just one tick above it actually. Today was an inside day, but let's back up here to yesterday. I should probably clean up my chart a little bit, but let's talk about yesterday's trades, to which I had a couple. So yesterday we gapped up. We were outside of the prior day's range, gapped up, and rallied most of the morning. I actually did not choose to take the 5-minute gap play because I felt like the last couple of days, while yes, we ended up trending, there was a little bit more undulation, and like I had the one that I took earlier in the week that I got stopped out on and ended up getting in on a retracement, 5 minutes later. So I did not take the 5-minute play. It proved to be just fine. We had the same kind of undulation, that same sort of pattern that set up earlier in the week held true. You can really see this triangle on the 30-minute chart where we're getting lower highs and higher lows. But my first trade yesterday, I came in here, first 15 minutes is to about this point. I drew the low to high. I let it pull back to the 50% retracement, and then I just came in, drew the opposing short, made sure that that broke, and then we had a nice little double bottom here. Whether you took like this first little high broke by a tick, I like to see it break by 2 ticks, so I let the market come down and double bottom, and then this high is what I used as my anchor point. So low to high, and then just took the long at 28.08 and a quarter. That went for a few points. We had a couple little swing lows in here, but drawing the full retracement was all the way down at a 28.08, and price was up at 2012s or 28.12s. So when we started moving through this sideways action, I put my stop underneath this low here. I took off some on the 2-point mark. Get rid of this little guy. Looking at the larger target, we rolled through that. I took a little bit off up here at the negative 61.8 just by trailing each candle's low. Then I put my stop underneath this block here of triple bottom. And then as we started to move higher, I just moved my stop up underneath the swing low, up underneath the swing low, next swing low, next swing low, and then this is where I got taken out of the rest of it, about 28.12 and a quarter. Then I believe we had, let's see, I think we had a high tick. Yeah, we actually nope, that was not that point. So then yesterday we didn't make a full pullback to the trading hours only. If I take lows up to highs, did not make a pullback there. So seeing this little double bottom form, drawing the opposing short, seeing the double bottom form, and then basically the same setup. Here we broke above the 61.8. I actually used that as my setup, this double bottom and breaking the opposing, and I took a second trade at 12.75. It went just about 2 points, and then it rolled over, and I got stopped out. I had my stop underneath the this candle here. I had tightened it as we started moving up, and it came down, stopped me out, and then ended up going higher. But that's okay. You can't catch them all. I only had the two. If coming back in here, we did kind of have another setup where if you draw the short, it failed, and then you can turn around and draw the long for 28-12 or 28-13s. But at the time, we had a high over here, and then this high only went like 2 ticks above it, and then we sold off pretty deep, breaking the 61A of the long. So I didn't feel like that was quite as good of an opportunity. Ended up being a pretty strong run, but hey, caught the one on Monday, so I'll take that. Then moving over to today. Today was an inside day, in that the high and the low were within yesterday's high and low. So usually pretty cautious on those days. First 30 minutes kind of went by. We had this is where we had the high tick up here at highs, but then when we pulled back, we stopped right at the long. So you got to pass on the short. So no short play there. Then we ended up failing the long and coming down into new lows on the day. This is the first 30-minute low up here. And then we had a low tick at lows. So we had high tick at highs, then a low tick at lows. Really good sign that we're likely to be in a range-bound day. And just about a textbook low ticket lows long. We had a couple swing highs here. Got the low ticket lows. We rallied. We broke the swing high. And I just drew from lows to highs and then used 28, I think it was 28.10 and a quarter as the long. And then same thing, 2-point target. And then just drawing up from the entry low to high as the trail stop at 28. You could do 11, or I like to round down, so it's an extra couple of ticks, so 1075. And then I did the same thing on the next move up to here, and then 13. It was like a 13 even is where the stop out was. And then get rid of some of these drawings, clean it up a little bit. So then now we're back in the middle, or back in the 30-minute range, and I try to stay out of this area and just try to look at the bottom of the range and the top of the range. So over here at the top of the range, we made a high right at the high of the first 30-minute range, and then broke the swing low here. I drew up the low to high just to make sure we didn't stop at it, and then just drew up the short. It was a 16.25s, and then that went for about 2 points, and then reverse. So first tightening the stop above this candle, then drawing up the next 61.8. You could either draw up the next 61.8, or you could draw the full 61.8. They were pretty close, but either way, that one went for a couple of points and then reversed. So that was really it. And that was kind of getting a little bit later in the morning, but I figured a high ticket highs, or a short at the top of the first 30-minute range is usually a good bet. So that's all that was there for today. Tomorrow, we should see some sort of resolve from this triangle. If we go to the daily chart, can see we're kind of right here, maybe a third day sideways, but looking at the 30-minute, it was pretty clear that we were kind of right at the apex. So not gonna rule anything out, but we would have to break yesterday's high, so a 28.2650, or low, which is a 28.0550. Today's high and low are significant, but they're inside of yesterday. So yesterday's high and low are more significant. And then we have this little tiny gap over here. So if we were to move down, I could see us, closing that gap, closing this gap, closing this gap, sort of in a, swift move down. If we move up, big body candle all the way and just tear higher. The one thing I would watch for is a potential V reversal intraday. Sometimes we dip down and then rally, and then we form like a hammer that its tail dips below this candle. So those are 3 scenarios that we could get tomorrow, but it is a Friday, and Sometimes those days are a little bit quieter. So if you have questions, feel free, shoot me an email, tim@eminimind.com. Hope you have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.